Hey everybody, welcome back to the Kurt Locker podcast. Today I've got Jonathan with NoFate247 on with me tonight. Jonathan, welcome to the show and thank you for coming on.
Hey, the No Fate channel checking in. How are we doing this evening?
It's a great day. The checking in is everywhere. You do a good job of incorporating it. It's interesting because like we all have, I guess we all don't have taglines, but taglines are one of those things that really help define a brand. And I know that if I jump on somewhere and say checking in because I know you're there, you've done a really good job associating that with your brand, with the No Fate brand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's not like just me. Other people have checked in. I like the concept of like, we live in a age where like everything's at your fingertips in terms of your phone. It's important to like just check in with your friends and family and reach out. And yeah, I love it now. Even my kids will say it. What's creepy though is when I go back to my like original videos, I still have that tagline. It's like from like the day one, but it's delivered so differently. It's like the No Fate channel checking. You know what I mean? It's just like it's just not natural. So, but it's funny how it's evolved, even though the words haven't changed.
There is nothing natural about starting YouTube, though. Starting to talk to a camera is one of the most unnatural things ever, and it's so funny you brought this up. My wife is the reason that I got into doing social media. She tried to do like family vlogging because when we got married, she was a vet tech, and like she had a trade, but the company she worked with didn't require that she had like formal schooling in vet tech. But they offered to pay for her schooling. Well, because they didn't require it, she just kind of never finished it because she didn't need that, to do her job. So when we had kids, she transitioned to be a stay-at-home mom and kicks ass at it. And we ended up in the position where she kind of wanted something that was hers. So she got into content creation. Now the family vlogging didn't work, thank God, because I was definitely not a fan of that style. I know there's some people that they love it, but what I love is that she fell into just blogging and actually just got published in Bob Vila magazine.
That's great.
Yeah, like 2 days ago. She did some cabinet, like she converted cabinets to something. So that's where I got started. But I'm saying a lot of words basically. I'm trying to lay down way too much context. But I recently have tried to help her reignite because what she does with Simply DIY Home, she is now transitioning to Simply DIY Garden. She's trying to expand on the blog brand because we have a food blog now that we do for our daughter that has celiac disease, and we have the Simply DIY Home, which is all home improvement based, and now the garden. But for the garden, she's doing YouTube work and she's going through that awkward checking in, like
Yeah,
she
it's
doesn't want
it's
people looking
brutal.
at her.
It's brutal.
It
It's I
is
mean,
it's
no, go ahead. It's just so rough because especially if you're a one man show or one woman show and it's like you're setting the camera up, you're trying to like work it around. So am I in the shot? Am I not in the shot? And then you start talking and you're like, I sound horrible. Like, you know what I mean? And then you
Yep.
screw up and you're trying to have like a good long line and then you screw up at the end. You got to start. Oh, it's a mess.
It's so funny though because I started doing this in 2016 or 17, the channel. And I used to ask her all the time, like, hey, how do you edit this? How do you do this? How do you? And now it's just funny because the roles have completely changed where, she's using my license of Final Cut and learning how to do the editing process. And I taught her how to use the microphones. But it's tough. Like to anybody that's watching this that has any aspirations to start a channel, I usually tell people to go for it because the more of us that there are at this point, like we're not at a saturation point, or at least I don't think we're at a saturation point. But yeah, give it a shot. Like you might crush it. You might be good at it, or maybe you'll just earn a little bit of a healthy respect for the people that do it
Listen,
and just how
whenever
awkward
people
you are.
whenever people ask me, I'm kind of like a sadist. I'm just like, yeah, you should definitely do it. It won't take long at all. You'll have a ball. You'll just take right off in no time.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, you would make millions of dollars compared to the
Yeah.
tens of dollars that I make. But it's fun. So let's actually roll back a little bit. So let's start from the beginning. So who is No Fate 247 when the cameras aren't rolling?
Oh, it's just listen, what you see on camera is what you get. I'm just a dad of two. I've got like 1,700 videos. So if you really want to know who I am, just watch like a good 1,000 of them and you'll help me, I'll help you. But just a dad of two, working a typical job, got the wife, got the two kids, live up here in New England, and it is brutally cold. I am ready for winter to be over. If you, I learned the YouTube, just wanted to get into video editing, and ultimately realized if I didn't have like a stake in the game in terms of having a reason, a why, I wasn't going to ever really learn to edit video on my own. So I started the YouTube channel, started editing, screwed up a whole bunch of ways, like between the audio and the video, and just basically made all the mistakes you can possibly make. And here we are. I'm still making mistakes every day, but there's few, and try not to make the same mistakes.
Yeah, that's tough. I got your website up here. 1,700 videos. I know that you post your metrics all the time. But yeah, basically, data two, tricks, tribulations, trials, right? That's kind of like your thing. Like, what are you? So you're not necessarily trying to be an equipment review channel.
No. So
you're not pigeonholed like that. You're very like diverse.
So yes, in a good way, and yes, in a bad way. So for those of you who don't know YouTube likes you to be in a niche. They like you to have a certain segment of videos that you stick to, and then they know how to push those videos towards people that will click the video and watch the video. Well, if you've got a whole bunch of like a potpourri of videos or topics that you cover, it's harder for the algorithm to say, okay, this person likes home gym stuff, but if I make a supplement video, they're going to try to push it to the home gym people who aren't going to want to watch it. So it is, if you look at my numbers based on how long I've done it and how many videos I have, I'm really kind of tied my hand behind my back. If I could do it again, which I never want to have to go through that 1,700 videos all from day one, but I would actually make like 4 or 5 different channels, one for every topic I wanted to cover. That way I could put out multiple pieces of content and not have stuff get stale, but at the same time, I could funnel it in its own little corrective spot.
Yeah, I think I feel you there. I think that my channel also kind of suffers from a little bit of that, but I'm definitely not at 1,700 videos. That's just wild.
Yeah, there was one year I put out like 5 a week. Like there was one year I was just like gangbusters.
That's what I was about to ask you. So like, how many videos are you? What's your schedule right now?
So the schedule changes, and a lot of times it depends on like if the video takes longer to edit. Like for people who do their own editing, that's the long aspect of it. I mean, everything takes time, but that's just the grinding part of like trying to figure out how to turn chicken poop into chicken salad in terms of like taking all your content and making it look reasonably nice and then making it interesting. So people are going to watch this and they're going to want to watch all the way through. So that takes the longest time. Usually during the year, I try to shoot for 2 videos and then 2 or 3 shorts during the week, and then a community post or 2 community posts during the week. And then if I get more content, if all of a sudden the stars align and I'm able to film and edit videos quicker, I'll squeeze in a 3rd one. And then over the late summer, for people who do YouTube, they'll know that the views just go to the bottom. No one's watching YouTube over the summer as a whole, mathematically speaking. So I'll go down to 1 video in like late July and August, and I actually keep making the same amount of videos, but I store them up so I can actually have like a backlog come September and October, November.
Nice. So it seems like you have a really big cycle. So I've gone onto your YouTube channel. This is one of my favorite things to do to people, not necessarily on the show, just like in general when I'm creeping.
This is great. This is hard to watch for me, but I love going back there because then it makes me feel good about my current content.
Yeah, right. That's one way to look at it. So which one of what are these? So we got kind of all over. So network nuances.
This is all over the place. So I wanted to do like a dad channel because obviously I was like a new dad. So I was like, oh, I'll just do new dad stuff and, make some fun, helpful videos to people who might be interested in it, like cooking. And I was training for like a 60-mile walk with my wife to support breast cancer. And, just like, well, might as well make hay while the sun is shining. And I, obviously you can see I liked working out. I liked, supplements. So I did some of those as well, and just kind of went where my interests lie. And that's the same thing that happens today. Like I'll have an interest in a topic that even if it's not home gym related, I will just kind of take it on and try it out for a month or 2 and then report back.
Yeah. So were these No Fate Networks nuances? So we
got
lighting on a button.
At the time, I was trying to have different series. So like whenever I had an improvement to the channel, I would like make a video on the improvement. So there you go. You see, I got like a Rode mic as one of my first actual mics besides to improve the audio. And so of course I had to make content out of it. Woo, a
Yeah.
whole 107 views, man. Woo. I think my mom
Yeah.
watched it 100 times.
Yeah. So it is interesting. I talked to Michael Fahey. He was the director of West Side versus the World. He is one of the co-founders of OVR. And it was funny. He actually brought this up as because you said publicly, I don't remember where, but something about like don't dog 500 videos or 500 views. There's nothing wrong with
Oh,
500
nothing
views.
wrong
That
with, like, people don't understand how hard it is. They don't understand. They don't even like. Here's the thing. Like, you're always going to know someone who started a YouTube channel and all of a sudden it took off. Usually it's like a 19-year-old girl, right? It's or who has like an OF account, right? But most people, the majority of people, it is a grind. YouTube, especially when you're starting off day one subscriber, YouTube doesn't push your videos to anybody. And then on top of it, so like your first 100 videos, you're not going to get any views, even if they're great, unless you've got some weird outlier, just because of the way the algorithm works. And this is the same thing. You see these people with huge channels, like 500,000 subscribers. They put out a horrible video and it still gets, 50,000, 60,000 views because of the amount of push that YouTube is bringing it.
Yep, makes sense. But what Michael Fahey was saying about the 500 count was that at 500 views, and I remember he had a number, super intelligent guy. He had an actual number, and he's like, well, at this number, this means that it's people that you don't know. Like you don't know them and they're watching your content. And it's interesting because like you were kind of joking, like, oh yeah, thanks mom for watching my video 100 times. Like all our moms, of course, support us in this. But yeah, it's interesting because as we go up here, going a little bit higher, 301, I'm seeing now. You're
Yeah,
just kind
it's
of like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. I like this. This
exactly. You're
is
just seeing what's fun. For me at the time, and still is today, I just like, what's fun? What am I doing? At the time, you can see I was doing Spartan races. So I was like, okay, I'm doing
yeah.
Spartan
Are you
races. Let's
even?
do the Spartan race training. Let's do the, oh, this is horrible. Look, I look so young. I look so good.
Yeah. Look
The new
how
is
I
up
don't think that
on
audio
August
sounds
5th.
too bad. So this is like pre home gym. This is like
Yeah,
way back.
I had a home gym. So at the time I had a home gym, and this was a while ago, but this at a time I still had my home gym, but it wasn't obviously as in depth as it was now. And this was pre-COVID, and this gym right here isn't that far from my house, so it wasn't as though I was like driving 40 minutes to go to the gym. Kind of at this time, it just kind of made sense. I was still having relatively normal hours in terms of when I work out. Now I work out at like 4 o'clock in the morning just to kind of get it done before the kids. But yeah, man, these are good times. These were good videos. I think I signed up for this Spartan race last minute. There you go. Give it the like. I'll take every view I can get. I signed up for this Spartan race last minute, so I thought it'd be fun to just kind of chronicle my short training. A lot of people who take on like a Spartan Super, which is like 6+ miles and 23 obstacles, tend to
Yeah.
do a lot more than like a few days training. And this was just hill sprints. That was funny. I just like, I still love that. I still love running that hill. Just sprint up, walk down, sprint up, rinse and repeat. It works.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. How did you? So before you started making content, what was Jonathan's life like? What was it like? What were
Well,
you doing?
there's BC, which is before kids. Okay, so my life before kids was like completely different. I'd get up, go to work. After work, I would work out. So I would go from work to the gym, hang out with a bunch of my bros. For anyone who goes to the local gym, if you go the same time, you end up seeing people. You might even know their name, but you give them a nod, like a hey, what's up? You give them a spot. So you had like your crew of like people that you always saw on a given week. So I would just go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, usually try to squeeze them in on the weekend too. And then, spend time with the wife and just live life up here in New England.
Yeah. Did you guys like? Are you a travel? So like, what kind of person were you before you had kids? Were you one of those that traveled a whole bunch, or did you just like stay out late? Like, what was kind
We
of?
never stayed out late. I mean, like I got that out of my system in college in terms of staying out late. We really like, because we were dating, and we bought a house together while we were still dating. We knew we were going to get married, but we were still dating. So like the first year when we bought the house was all like just sweat equity of like, oh, this is broken. We didn't know about it. Oh, the deck isn't actually like anchored to the house correctly. We got to fix that. So it was just all like the first year was all house projects
Yep.
and stuff like that. And so we did travel. My wife was big on the Susan G. Komen 3 days for a cure walk. So she went to a couple of the events there. We did Disney as like just two two engaged people with no kids at Disney. It was great. We went in September when all the kids were at school. We were just going on all the rides, like no line whatsoever. This is going back over 10 years, but that's just what it was. It was a great time. And I'm not going to say I miss it because I love my kids, but it is completely different than now. I mean, I got to sleep until like 6 o'clock. It was amazing.
I think that's one of those like weird dichotomies that parents find themselves into. Because I mean, I can tell you the same thing. I didn't go to college until I was like an old person. Man, like I had a lot of fun pre-kids and I loved my life pre-kids. But once I had kids, like I still love my life. It's just different. You know, it's almost like two chapters of a book, but the two chapters still form the same story. It's just two chapters and you can be amazing at both chapters. Were you
Yeah, you
always
just
into Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
No, you were about to finish a thought on that. I
No,
want to hear your
it's just
thought.
about getting. I mean, for me, it was just about getting like a new schedule, and it was really hard when I first had my son, who was my firstborn, because I thought like, okay, I'm going to try to have the same schedule, but you can't with the new kid. So, and in my mind, I was like, oh, we'll put him to bed at like 6 o'clock. I'll go to the gym. And it's like, no, it just doesn't work like that. And for the first almost year, I was getting just horrible workouts, or I would like not go to the gym at all, or I would get there and work out. I just like, get all mad, and or the kid would be sick, wouldn't go to sleep. You know how it is. Just listen. So then when I decided to like do it before, everything kind of like opened up in terms of like, oh, I got the the Jocko hack of like just get it done before the day starts. So
Exactly. I'm in the same boat. I'm a psycho that like goes to bed at 10 and wakes up at like 3 or 4. And I either do like grad school work in the morning. I'm almost done with that, thank God. Or yeah, go out in the gym after school. So I get it, man. The mornings for me, the big reason for that is because I can focus. Like first thing in the morning, get some coffee in my system, just sit there in mostly dark, enough light that I can read or do whatever I'm doing, and just kind of like have some me time
yeah,
that's nice and
even on my
quiet.
rest days, I do this. I almost have the same exact schedule. I don't sleep in. I get up and I get that early time to myself and try to sometimes I'll just try to tackle a small project before the kids get up. But yeah, I don't sleep in on the off days just because I want my body to be like kind of used to getting up early. And if you
Yeah.
sleep in like an extra couple like 4 hours, you're going to be like all out of whack.
So have you always been into fitness that whole time?
Yeah, I've been into fitness since I was, 16 and found the gym at my high school, typical story. Lifted in college and did all the dumb bro stuff. And then after college, I went to the local gym and had a bunch of buddies and we just bro splits and, threw in some CrossFit circuits at the end, didn't know what we were doing, overtraining, just completely horrible exercises, more injuries than you could count. And, finally you smarten up a little bit, but
Hey, you got to get there somehow though.
yeah, exactly. Everyone's got their journey.
What were you going to school for?
Mechanical engineering. So I have one degree in mechanical engineering. I got a master's in business administration, telecommunications management as well. Listen, I got degrees. Those aren't even worth they're just paper on the wall
Yeah.
by now. I mean, it's just they're good to get because no one can take them away from you and they look good on a resume. But at the end of the day, I'm not nearly as smart as a lot of people that I know that never went to college and they're just like so much smarter than me and vice versa. Like there's kids that I graduated with that will like run circles around me, but we got the same degree. Right. So
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot there. But I will also say, though, like that kind of stuff can really start to influence the way that you see certain things. So, like, kind of jumping ahead to the NoFate247 channel and a lot of the stuff that you're doing in the last couple of years with equipment reviews, do you ever find yourself thinking about gym equipment and you're thinking about it through the lens of things that you learned back in college?
yeah, you look at some of the stress, you look at some of like, like the static load and different types of loading on stuff. And that's why, like, when I look at some of these, like, this thing can handle 800 pounds. And I'm like looking at this like $300 power rack. And I'm like, yeah, maybe if you loaded it up very gently, it would handle 800 pounds. But if there's any type of drop, it's going to just get, it's going to deform and
Destroyed.
crush. So
So did my post when I loaded up the barbell and I was like measuring the max bend of the barbell? Did that
I
like
was
scare?
scared. I was scared that it was going to just snap, but because if it snapped, there would be so much tension. It would just kind of, it would
Oh
click,
yeah, I was relying fully on my free medical coverage there. That's for sure. I'm trying to figure out a better way to do that though. So maybe that's someone like you and with a mechanical engineering degree that also has an interest. Maybe we need tag team on some sort of intelligent way to, I don't know, because like I think a lot with barbell reviews specifically, there's a lot of things out there that we talk about from a subjective stance, and it's really difficult to quantify. I just did the review comparing the black diamond to the double black diamond, and like I can show you a picture and I can tell you what it feels like, but like I want to figure out a way, like can I print, can I, like I'm sitting here next to my 3D printers and I'm like, can I 3D print like a jig that we throw on this thing and we somehow measure like the tension that it breaks at? So someone like you that has a mechanical engineering degree might have like a natural inclination for trying to figure out some of these things if you're
Well,
still
did you
into
see
it.
what Rogue did? They measured like their bars against Nike's barbells to show you like
Yeah,
cycle time.
the F rating. Yeah, I saw them doing their F rating test on that. And like the F rating is fine. Like I love the F rating, but what the F rating doesn't tell you is which bar, like can we come up with a standardized test, repeatable, consistent test that measures the how much whip is in a Ohio power bar versus like an Alico versus a Bells of Steel versus this versus this versus this. And that's what my intent was with that post originally, is I wanted to come up with something that I could test repeatedly and really kind of like get a number, right? Like start to gather some data. And like I'm not going to get psycho and throw an SPSS yet and try to figure out like my actual statistics on it. But yeah, I just wanted something.
It's listen, I love when people go down the well of like how much what's like how strong are these bars, but like in my mind I'm just lifting for myself, and I know that the average viewer is like me, okay? They're not like
Yeah.
you. You're super strong. Like you're lifting up houses, you're lifting up like big wagons and cars and axles and horses and like it's ridiculous. Like I'm just in the downstairs trying to like look presentable, like look like I put on like a kid's medium shirt so it kind of hugs the arms, it looks okay. But
Yeah.
like I'm the average person getting like 3 to 5 workouts in a week, just trying to squeeze it in, trying not to like get that dad bod. And like if I hit 2 plates on any exercise, I'm thinking I'm just like the cat's meow. So like
Those are
that's
rookie
why
numbers, John. We gotta get those numbers up for you.
I've had rookie numbers forever. You listen, you know that there's always that kid in high school who like rolls into the gym and he's benching like 225 before anyone else, or he's squatting 3 plates before anyone else. I was never that guy. I was
Yep.
never that guy. I was always on the opposite spectrum of like I got tens on the side and I'm like just working as hard as I can.
Yeah, no, I get that. Believe it or not, I actually also was not always that guy. It took me getting hurt in 2013 to actually kind of get into it. Other than that, I just ran. Like I was like 150 pounds.
I
Uh,
used to run a lot too, and once I stopped, a lot of my injuries went away. Believe it or not.
so weird
So
how that works.
it's
As
funny
it
how well
turns out, running is high impact.
running, they say running is natural, but the reality is like, running on like soft sand is, but running on like cement and concrete aren't. And then the way a lot of our shoes are made, you're like, or like people just have bad form, myself included, like you heel strike. And when you heel strike in a run, that stress just goes all the way up your body, into your lower back, everywhere. You're supposed to like get the front padding of your foot, which even if you have good form and you start off that way, as soon as you get tired, you heel strike. So if you're running like a race, by the beginning of the race, you're still crushing your system.
Yeah, that heel strike also acts as a braking force every single time that you're running. So you're actually braking and then having to reaccelerate when you push off of your foot. It's, yeah, definitely a high stress for sure. It might be natural to run away from something, but that doesn't mean, like you said, that you need to do it on concrete. So, what pushed you to go from I went to college, I got married, was into the gym, mechanical engineering guy, business guy. I'm going to do YouTube.
Listen, like everyone else, I was just watching people on YouTube, and I was watching people online, social media, YouTube, and like if you watch enough videos, you're gonna recognize what's BS. Like you'd be like, wait a minute, this guy's lying. I've tried that protein. It tastes like chalk. How is this guy saying it's the best protein ever? Or I've tried that Titan tricep barbell. It's ridiculously dumb. Why is this person trying to push that affiliate link? And you realize like I can do better. You know what they say, if you want it done right, do it yourself. So that's why I was like, if this guy is pushing this product that I know I've used, it's horrible or it doesn't taste good or there's a problem with it that he's failing to mention, then of course I can do it better. And then like I said, I wanted to learn to edit video, and I wanted to kind of get it into that ability because I saw that like that's a lot of like the video was becoming more prominent than photos, and I wanted to be able to edit them or at least have the knowledge of like how to do some of it. I'm still like a novice in the editing world.
No, yeah, I feel you there, 100%. My actually today I wrapped up production on a video that I'm super proud of. So the most effort I've ever put into one, and it's probably still a rank amateur. Did you have any mentors or anything coming into it? Like,
Uh,
so for me, I was like Brian Allsrue, Alan Thrall. Certain home gym reviewers didn't represent the things I wanted to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big Basement Brandon fan before he was even like a home gym guy. Just like, just he's so good on camera. Like you just want to be his friend. And a couple times when I started YouTube, I reached out to him with some questions, and he was super generous with his time for someone who had like, I think at the time I had like 100 subscribers. You know what I mean? So very, very generous with his time and appreciative. So in terms of like the YouTube space, that was probably the biggest help I got. There was also a guy who used to do YouTube. He's called the Boot Guy, and all he did was like boot videos on like his stuff is probably still up. He was super nice and helpful too. Try to help me fix some audio issues. The first like 50 videos I made had like single track. So if you were wearing headphones like this, you would only hear it on one side. And I didn't know how to fix that for the life of me. And of course, it was a simple fix, but I didn't know, and didn't. So he helped me out a bunch as well. So
Talk about this guy,
yeah, that guy's awesome.
the boot
He's
guy.
Listen, if you want someone who knows everything about boots, I mean, he's drank the boot Kool-Aid. I don't think
Mm.
his stuff is new though. I to this day I don't know why he stopped his channel because it was very popular. What's his latest video? 4 years ago.
Yeah, wow. Yep.
He was really good with camera work, with editing. I know I don't know if he just wasn't making enough money because of course trying to make it on YouTube as a full-time job is not easy.
It's kind of hard to tell too because like it's hard to tell because like his views look pretty good, but you also don't know what the RPMs and CPMs and everything are for that market. But yeah, I mean sometimes people just stop. And wasn't it gosh, there's been a couple home gym people. Gosh, what was it? It was like the fist. And he had like a brick wall and it was like a fist logo. And he just kind of stopped. And then there was the guy out in Hawaii. He did a little bit of YouTube. Danny Tran.
Okay. I mean, I know a lot of people that have started and stopped. I know like a guy that he did 5-minute supplement reviews. They were awesome, right? The problem is YouTube wants people to watch for a long period of time. So if all your videos are only 5 minutes, people are going to cut out at like the 4-minute mark, and then you don't get as much watch time. So it was like a recipe for disaster, even though his content was great.
It's just tough sometimes. Sometimes it does not shake out. But yeah,
Now,
so boot guy, basement Brandon. And I will attest that Brandon is wildly helpful and encouraging.
he's so
Anybody else?
talented too. I hate this guy. He is so talented. He'll do like one takes, like start to finish, just no script, just talking off of his head, and he makes it look so effortless. He has such a great voice, a good pace. Like he's got, the skin, everything, the aesthetics, and it's just like it's sickening. It's sick. I'm over here like take 20, take 30, and this guy's just doing it one take, no editing, very, very limited editing. He probably just throws it in the timeline and just puts a little B-roll over it, exports it, and there we go. I'm just
Hey,
like, ah. But yeah, he's
he,
super nice.
he's been doing it forever too, which definitely helps. Uh, so when it comes, you talked earlier, you just mentioned it in passing. So people hawking affiliate links, and
Yeah.
this is actually something that to this day like really bothers me sometimes too. And I try not to be perceived as a shill. What do you do to kind of how do you incorporate your own values, or how do you kind of guard
It's tough.
your
So people don't do
reputation?
YouTube. It's brutal. So like the reality is, you're contributing your time to this, and you're hoping to get some type of payment for your time in terms of revenue. Now, obviously, for most of us, is we're not looking for like a full-time money, but if you're going to be committing nights and weekends to something, you hopefully want to see some return. And YouTube used to, way back when, pay a lot more in terms of ad revenue. They don't pay anything now. Like, I mean, it's literally like nothing. That's why when you see people with all these views, you're like, oh, they must be making a ton of money. And they're not. The money comes from affiliate links. And for a lot of the smaller channels, the money actually comes from selling the stuff that they review. So they may make like a lot less money on their affiliate links than they do from actually like selling something. Like they review it. Okay, I'm not going to use it anymore, so I sell it on Facebook Marketplace. And if you go on Facebook Marketplace and you look closely, you can probably figure out where your favorite YouTubers that do home gym reviews are, because they're selling the stuff that they reviewed. And it's tough because at one time you don't want to be like, check out my affiliate links in the description. But at the end of the day, if you don't say that, if you don't tell them, they're never going to click on your affiliate links. And it used to be easier with coupon codes, because Kurt's going to remember his coupon code, NoFate247. If I mention it in the video, he doesn't have to click on the description at all. And when he goes to check out, he's going to see that spot for coupon code. Two problems with that. A lot of companies did away with them, in part because the coupon websites would get those codes, and these companies were losing money because people would find these codes all the time. And now with AI, you can change your code every week, and those coupon websites are going to have the new code every week. So that's why you see a lot of companies that will not do coupon codes anymore, which makes it harder for people who watch your content to actually support your channel, because again, everyone's going to just skip over clicking on the affiliate link.
Yeah, and even then, there's certain ones. So I think AbMat is one that comes to mind. If you use code KL10 or whatever your code is at AbMat, you don't get paid for that. They have
No.
to use your link.
Yes.
And I was trying to explain that. So like, it's the same thing with some supplement companies. Like, I mean, I'm happy that you save money, but I don't get anything unless you actually click the link. And I think it's interesting too, because there's certain niches where people, I guess maybe the right way to say is they're just more susceptible to using that coupon code. Like they don't think about it.
Yeah.
But home gym people are smart. And they're like, no, I'm not clicking your code. I'm just going to go direct.
Yeah.
And it's not out of spite. It's just, I mean, I used to do the same thing when I would watch like Coop videos. I'd be like, I'll just go direct. I don't need to use your link. And I know you're just tracking me.
I've had people like actually leave messages like, I'm not using your link. And I'm like, okay, thanks for leaving the comment. Like you could have just not used my link and not mentioned it in the comment. But at the end of the day, like I understand, like you get like, there's a lot of people that are making content and everyone has a link. Everybody has a link to something, and it seems like they're pushing hard. I try not to push stuff overly. I try to give people the aspect of, this is nice, this is premium, it's great for me, but if you don't have the money, the stuff that's yes for all on Amazon is still going to get the job done. No one's going to get more gains from the higher end barbell than the lower end barbell, for the most part, like unless you're deadlifting 600 pounds. So I try not to go too hard on the affiliate links, and I also try to go very hard on the companies that I like. I try to go very hard because sometimes you like a company and people are like, oh, you're, like you said, you're just a shill. You're just telling. So when I find a company, I try to go super hard and be like, this is everything wrong with it. And sometimes I front load like, this is everything wrong with this product. Now we got that out of the way. Here's what I love about it. So people know like there's a more sense of honesty, because I'm not afraid to say like, listen, this is too expensive, or this is way more expensive than it should be, or, whatever the case may be. But it's tough because there's always going to be people that watch your videos, and regardless of how honest you are or how brutal you are on a company, they think you're cheating them, or you're trying to push some type of system or some type of code, some Patreon, sell some shirt, sell some sticker. It's always going to upset somebody.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's interesting too, because I don't know. I feel like you're a bigger channel than I am, but I'm not sure what your budget looks like. But part of the
what's
reason,
less than zero? Wait, what's less than zero?
yeah, I mean, essentially same boat, right? Like all the money made from the channel essentially just goes back into the channel. But I often will, so I'll get critiqued, and I'm just kind of curious on your take on this. I'll get critiqued from some people because they're like, well, you didn't have anything negative to say. Part of the thing that I think people forget is that when I purchase equipment, I am a consumer, and I have a little bit of, just from doing it for so long, a little bit of knowledge on what I'm looking for, but I tend to just not buy things that I know I'm going to have super negative things to say about.
And the reality is too, right? Listen, if you were to go out and buy a $500 barbell, do you think there'd be anything wrong with it? Right? You're spending $500. So for the reality, most $500 barbells are going to exceed the
True.
above users' expectations. The only complaint you'd probably have is that it costs $500. So when you're
Exactly.
reviewing really premium pieces of equipment, there's not much bad stuff you can say aside from the cost. But because it's really, really good. And we live in a great time, 2025. I mean, so much premium equipment that could go into any local gym and just take off. I mean, look at the Rogue Manta Ray. I think that thing was like $1,000 or something. Like, I don't know. It's a fortune, but that can go in any commercial gym in the world. So now if I got that in-house and reviewed it, obviously everyone watching this channel knows I'm too cheap to do that. But if I got it in-house and reviewed it, what am I going to say bad about it? Like, maybe it's too heavy because it's like such a tank, or maybe it costs too much. Other than that, like, or maybe it doesn't have the color coding I like. And they've even fixed that. They've released new colors on that thing.
Yeah. No, I think I mean, that's a fair way to look at it too. Even some of the more affordable companies are essentially making we're talking commercial grade equipment is almost the standard. And I know this to be true even with some of my less commercial. So like I reviewed the RitFit leg extension leg curl combo, and it was in our gym at work, which has to be inspected to make sure that everything's commercial grade. And I think it's hilarious when these guys come and inspect the gym because they don't know anything. They know nothing about gym equipment. I'm just willing to say that right now. Hey Doge, seriously, they know nothing about gym equipment. They just know that, they're supposed to make sure it's commercial grade. And they looked right at the leg extension leg curl and they were like, yep, looks good. And I'm like, but yeah, everything does seem to be so commercial grade. So it is hard to say negative things. But I wonder if has it changed the way that you look at things? So has making content changed kind of Jonathan as a person? Do you find yourself are you better at public speaking now? Are you better at things or worse at things?
I'm better at public speaking, but I'm honestly, I'm less trustful. I'm much less trustful now that I've actually been doing this for so long. I can see someone's video and be like just kind of like, as an example, a lot of us reviewers, if we're going to get something like that's brand new, we all get it at the same time. Like, it all depends. Sometimes it's a day later because they're shipping it from the same factory, and you just live further away from the factory, right? And then you see people that put out this video within like 2 days of it arriving. Okay.
Yeah.
And and I don't blame them at all, because that's YouTube. It's like first come, first serve in terms of YouTube and affiliate links, and they're trying to get their money. And I understand there's a push for that, and I respect it because it takes a lot of time. But I can tell they didn't use it for very long because they've only had it for 2 days, and it probably took a day to assemble that, that half rack, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, you've got a new video that happens to drop the day that it's released by the company. So how many workouts did you put it through? Okay. And I don't know what the right answer is of how many workouts you need to put something through before you can claim that it's, an honest review. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say more than one. I mean, like, I do a lot of pre-workout reviews, or at least I used to do a lot more. And I would use the pre-workout like 2 or 3 times, and you can watch these reviewers and you can tell they used it once and they gave their opinion on that one experience. But we all know leg day is a lot different than like chest day or cardio day. And obviously you get that placebo effect, and also factors in of like, how long have I been taking a break from stimulants before I tried this, and all that. So if you only used it once, I don't necessarily know if it's an honest review or if it's like an in-depth review. You're just kind of giving your opinion on something. So I don't know. I'm very distrustful of so many people.
I do have a compliment for you though. You do a good job because even if you don't get something when it's released, you do a weekly like news, gosh, what do you call
Yeah,
it?
home gym weekend review. So
Yeah,
yeah,
weekend review. Yeah, so
so
you're
what
able to capture that stuff.
so here's what happens. If you're not nice to a lot of there's a lot of companies will say they want an honest review. There are a select few who actually want an honest review. They don't care what you say. Just put out a good video that's honest, and just say whatever you want. Say it stinks, or say I would fix this or that. Most of them want you to make an ad for them. And at the end of the day, if you don't make the ad for them that they want, if you put anything negative in there, even if it's at the end of the video and it's like something super small, they'll get mad at you and they won't send you any more equipment, which is why people who want free equipment keep saying nice stuff about stuff that isn't all that great. So how do you combat that and still be honest? Well, I decided I'm going to be honest. And of course, a lot of these companies stopped working with me, which is fair enough. I don't get that many views to begin with. So I'm like, well, how do I cover home gym equipment that I don't get my hands on, home gym weekend review. So that way we can cover a bunch of topics, really fast pace, drop in some funny comments, some fun, some sound effects, some good theme songs, and just make it a fun time overall. Make, poke fun at ourselves, because most home gym people are all introverts. We don't want to go to the local gym. We don't want to be like dealing with sweaty gym equipment. We want our own sweat and our own germs on our own equipment. So I thought it was be fun. It's funny because it's a weekend review and I put one out like once a month, but it's one of my
Is it
best.
only? I was gonna say, is it only once a month? I swear, I come. You know
Sometimes
what?
it depends. Sometimes it's more often, but usually it's once a month.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can review once a month. Well, you fooled me. But yeah, you seem to do a good job. Like you, I know that you're one of those that you always seem to know what actually is new. Because I'm going to be honest, like I normally don't know what's new. I learn from people like you what's new because I'm like into the things that I'm into. So yeah, I could have swore you did it more often, but I'm almost wondering if maybe because a lot of times when I watch, I actually when a video comes on, if it's a long video, I will walk over to my TV, which is running YouTube on like a Raspberry Pi because I'm a super nerd, and I will turn on the playback speed to 1.5 times, which is why if you were paying attention when I had your channel up, a lot of your videos only have like this much of the bar showing. And that's because I'm usually in the middle of a set when the video finishes and I have a thought on what I'm going to comment, and I'll have to go back and reopen up the video. And so it shows my progress bars being that much. But yeah, I learned from people like you, and I have this feeling that it keeps on suggesting your video again because I once you
Because
get into the Jonathan NoFate247 algorithm, all that it shows you is Jonathan 247 in an ice barrel. Yeah. But
I
no, you
love
do a
my
good
ice
job.
barrel. I love my ice. Oh, you want to know who helped me get that ice barrel? Was Basement Brandon. I was like emailing this company like, listen, I love ice baths. I've made ice bath videos. I love ice baths. Send me an ice barrel. I want to review it. And they didn't want to send one to me because they took one look at me. But I got a feeling, because I told Basement Brandon, I'm like, hey, if you know anybody, tell them I'm all in. I'm all for it. And so long story short, they finally sent me one and I reviewed it. I put made like 2 or 3 videos on it. I actually love that thing for probably all the wrong reasons. But I got those videos out, and like a year later, Brandon actually put his video out, even though we got them at like the same time. But shout out to Basement Brandon. Hopefully he's watching this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Still have my ice barrel. Still gets used.
I say Brandon watches a lot of content too. So I know that he's always in the comments because that's actually one thing that I also try to do. And I see you're really good at engagement because we actually worked concurrently on like a hone health thing.
Yes.
And you got a lot of energy, first off. Like you're just naturally like an energetic person. That's a compliment, like because I'm not a high energy person. But you were very good. You were trying to coach well, myself and the rest of these people that were in this group while we were doing that hone health thing. And you're like, hey, do this, do that, go like, comment, share.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just how the nature of the algorithm is. Like, you need to get, it's funny because like YouTube will tell you it doesn't matter when you release the video, but yes, it does matter. Like there's going to be better times versus worse times. So you see people releasing stuff at like midnight, and I don't know why. Like it's just because YouTube will tell you like the best time for you to release your video based on who's watching. But yeah, so it's a lot of the small stuff that you have to do that people don't realize, and it's not fun. But like, fixing thumbnails, making sure that they're visible, they're not too busy, fixing the titles to make sure they're catchy, fixing all the tags and the description, the first 2 sentences of the description, which is what people see when they like look at a video, and then all the small stuff, and making sure you ask people to subscribe without being like annoying, like hit the subscribe button. Like I stopped asking people and I just put like a little like
Yeah, the
I
graphic that
I just
pops
have
up.
like a graphic with a little like a really low sound effect, and I hope that's enough because I would ask people, and it was just like getting sickening to be like, and you hear people on the same like the people will be like doing YouTube for like years, and in the first 30 seconds they're like, hey, help out the channel, like hit the subscribe, like they don't even do it like in a fun way, and I'm just like just roll my eyes every time I see that or hear that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's almost like I feel like I'm shilling for myself.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at
Yeah.
this point, we all know how to hit the subscribe button. It's not like anyone's, new to the content of how to. Where's the subscribe button? I don't know. Is it down here? I don't know.
But yeah, Brandon's one of those, and I try to be one of those, and you do pretty good too. But it's all about like supporting the rest of us. Like Jungle Gym reviews just recently, because I stumble on like my algorithm. I'll be honest, my algorithm is like a lot of guns, a lot of tactical stuff, home gym
Yeah.
stuff, and then like history,
America,
right?
baby. America. Your
Yeah,
algorithm
right.
is
Like
America.
yeah, so, but yeah, so it doesn't show me. So like Jungle Gym reviews. God, I'm hoping to get his name right. He's got the grass on the wall.
Yeah. He
Yeah, awesome
I want to
dude.
yell at him. He had like a window there and he boarded up a window to put that like fake wall there. I'm like, man, how do you board up a window? I mean, it makes sense for like a YouTube studio, but I'm like, wouldn't you want natural light in your gym? I mean, he has like a YouTube studio, so it's not like a real
He
gym.
does.
So props to him because it looks great, looks very fantastic. But he boarded up a window. I'm like, natural light. People would kill for natural light in the basement.
Yeah, I always try to like go to his video and like in the morning when I'm working out. Like Monday is always a Massonomics, catching up on the Massonomics video of the week. And then the rest of the days of the week are just as other content creators release content, as my algorithm catches it, I always try to make sure I do the things where I like NoFate247 comes up, watch the video. And again, like I swear I like I see your text back when we did Hone, and you're like, watch it all the way through. Like you were very
You have
particular
to.
about
It's
all the way through.
okay. So here's a dirty secret. So when you say like when you go you probably go into the comments and you see the same people commenting, right? You see like the same people commenting across all these videos. A lot of these people, especially if they have YouTube channels, maybe not in the home gym community, but I'm sure it happens here, is they're purposely going to like their competitions videos, watching like 30 seconds, dropping a comment so their name's there, going on to the next one. And they do that for like you're like, why how do they comment on 200 videos? I don't even understand. But it's so and they're killing your algorithm. They're killing your views because they're telling YouTube that they only watched for 30 seconds before they pieced out.
Yeah, that retention metric can be depressing sometimes, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
very depressing.
But so what's one thing about John, like when it comes to, is it John, it's Jonathan, right?
Yeah, it's Jonathan, but I answer to both. Don't sweat it.
Okay. Yeah, so with your personal journey in No Fate 247, what's something that people probably don't know?
Man, I've been rocking like the whole like, don't save anything for the trip back for like I don't know, 15 years. My wedding ring is inscribed on the inside with my, my taglines, no faith but what we make. So it's just what you see is what you get. I do, obviously a lot of home gym equipment videos because that's just my home gym's just been expanding and it's just fun. I do videos that are fun. I try to do as many videos as I can. I got like a gorilla cart video coming out for like a yard, pieces of yard equipment that I've done. It'll get no views, but it was just something I was interested in once I ever get around to editing it. So it's just one of those things. If you want like an honest channel that just, kind of goes where the wind takes me and I just kind of seek out stuff that I'm interested in. And, it's not like an entirely home. Listen, I can't review 50 barbells a year. It gets boring fast. So I try to change it up. I try to have different angles of attack. And I try to make my videos fun because for those of you watching, if you already have 5 barbells and I put out a barbell review, why would you ever bother watching my video if I don't make it fun, interesting, exciting? Maybe I crack some jokes at Coop's expense. I don't know, pick on someone that's Gluck's expense or someone, and just we have some fun. It's a community. We do some razzing, and at the end of the day, hopefully you know a little bit more about the barbell.
I do want to circle back to your wedding ring inscription. So you have a Terminator quote on your wedding band.
Yeah, Terminator 2. It's just
Yeah.
no fate but what we make.
So how does no, so don't be wrong, awesome line. I like the no fate but what we make. I love the idea of it, but how does a Terminator 2 quote make it onto your wedding ring?
Because it's all about a mentality. It's all about being a mentality. I mean, we have so many people in this world that are like victim mode. They're like, oh, I just wasn't lucky enough, or oh, I wasn't born on third base. And at the end of the day, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And a lot of people don't want to put the work in. And I'll give you a prime example. Look at Gluck, right? Like people look at him and they're like, oh, it must be nice to get all that free equipment or get so many views. If you don't think he's putting in a copious amount of work and energy and money and capital and time and effort, like you don't even know what you're looking at. I mean, it's just like very few people got anywhere in any space by sheer luck, especially in YouTube. And again, unless you're like a 19-year-old girl, but it's just so many people put so much sweat into it. And my mentality was, I got to put as much work into it if I want to get there. All right. It's not going to come. It's not going to come to me, whether it's my profession, whether it's weightlifting, or whether it's my marriage. I got to put the work in. I got to go out and get it. If I want it, I can create it. It's not a matter of luck or happenstance. It's a matter of just me getting there and doing the work.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I like it. I also love the fact that it's inspired from, first off, an Arnold movie. So as a fitness guy, but yeah, just good movie, solid. I just think that's cool. So
Now,
what is
did you ever stay around to the end of the video to see the catchphrase at the end of the video?
from Judgment Day?
No, from every one of my YouTube channels, from all 1,700 videos have the same ending. You ever stay around to the end?
I mean, yeah, I literally watch it until it goes to the next video. Maybe I must just be like missing. We're about to find out.
Yeah, that's at the end of all the videos. I always end it with saying, "Don't save anything for the trip back."
Oh yeah. Don't say yeah. Yep. No, I hear that.
And that's
all the
another
time.
a tagline from one of my favorite movies. So,
What's that one from?
Gattaca.
Oh, gotcha, dude. You're a Gattaca nerd.
Oh, I love that's one of I've got it
Yeah,
on Blu-ray. I love that movie so bad.
dude. Gattaca. So hang on. Gattaca ATCG. That was the one where the guy had like he wasn't perfect, but he got somebody else to like give
Yeah,
him
it was a different world where like they as soon as you were born they took your DNA
exactly.
and they decided like how long you were going to live and how successful you were going to be based on your metrics. And then so people were genetically engineering their kids to be bigger and stronger and live longer. And so
Exactly.
if you had a bad ticker, or at least they thought you did, they would like let you be a janitor or nothing else. And then you could have what was known as a broken ladder. You could steal someone else, not steal, but you could take someone else's identification and pretend to be them. And
Yeah, because
there's
wasn't
no
it the guy was paralyzed. The guy who
yes.
did have the good genes, he was paralyzed in a wheelchair. It was, gosh, I'm trying to remember the actor's name.
Yeah,
No, that's it.
Jerome the metronome. It was that. Yeah, he got silver. He got silver in a race, and he wasn't supposed to get silver, so he stepped in front of a car and got paralyzed.
That was good though, because at the end of that movie, the doc who's doing all the urinalysis, he like figures it out
Yeah,
and
he knew
still
from the
lets him
get.
go.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You've seen the movie. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
right-handed men don't hold it with their left.
exactly. No, that's a good movie. There's a couple of moments in that. That is a good movie that I have not seen in a long time. There's a couple moments in there like talk about, I mean, we're talking about a movie here, but the amount of sacrifice that guy had to do, like get all the DNA out of his keyboard, like there's like a little vacuum he had for that. Then he
Yeah, he had to have.
wasn't there something where like girls were going to like a window and they were like, I kissed a guy and I want to
Yep.
know.
Yep. So you could, if you were looking for a partner, you could get their DNA and have it analyzed to see if they were compatible, if they were like, top shelf. That was a great
That's
movie. That had such a good movie. Every time I want to kick in the pants, I'll watch that movie again. And it just kind of puts that fire in like, okay, I got to get after it.
I'm gonna have to watch it. And that movie is also why I know ATCG is the links of the DNA chain. So because the Gattaca title is all ATCG. So what does success look like for Jonathan and NoFate2?
You're looking at it. I mean, I'm very successful now in terms of like I'm able to have a job, and then this is like what the kids would call a side hustle. It's nights, it's weekends, it's in between sets when I'm working out, and I just squeeze it in. Come early mornings or late nights, and I have very successful on the YouTube channel based on how good my content is. But and what I mean by that is there's so many people putting out great content. So the fact that I've got the views that I have and the subscribers that I have, I'm very thankful for it. And by no means do I take it for granted. And that's why I'm always trying to work harder to make fun videos, because at the end of the day, there's thousands of like, pick a topic, pick a home gym product. You're going to find 50 videos on that product, right? Whether it's the Aries or the Pep-Ins or, the Ohio bar. I mean, like how many videos are there reviewing Ohio bars, right? I mean, it's like, so I try to make it fun. I try to make it exciting. As far as when I look at my numbers, like every YouTuber wants to have more numbers. If I've got 2,000 views on a video, I want 10,000. If I got 10,000, I want 20,000. Same thing with subscribers. Same thing with watch time, right? I want that click through ratio to be like 50%, and I'm lucky to get 5. So, I'm never happy in that respect because I always want more. But when I look at my life, I have never been happier in terms of like, the kids are doing great. the wife's, everyone's healthy. We're both employed. Knock on wood, we're both employed, and I've got this side hustle that basically helps pay for my home gym addiction. That's basically what it comes down to.
I feel the same way. I definitely identify with a lot of that for sure. What's a misconception? Like, are there any misconceptions that you think people have about you?
Oh yeah, tons. They think that first off, they probably think I'm making a lot more money on this channel than I am. I had one company reach out to me. They're like, we can put you in touch with an editor and they can edit your videos. But they wanted like 2,000 or 3,000 a month to edit my videos. And I was like, I don't think you realize what the channel doesn't make.
Yeah.
So I think there's tons of misconceptions because first off, people will see your channel and they think you're successful because of the subscriber count you have. But it's not like the subscriber count doesn't mean anything. If you look at the views, my channel is probably like mediocre compared to a lot of other people who have similar views, but like a third of the subscribers. It's tons of misconceptions about like, you must get everything for free. And it's like very far from the truth. And a lot of times, like I said, I will get I'll get pieces of like really cheap home gym equipment from companies that want ads. And then they never speak to me again when I give them an honest review. So, I mean, misconceptions galore. They probably think I take 10 minutes on a 10-minute video. I can tell you right now, most of my thumbnails take like an hour to an hour and a half minimum. There's like, a lot of my friends will know I'll send them like 15 different iterations of thumbnails and be like, which one did you click on first, to try to figure out which one is going to catch people's attention, catch their eye, change the color, change the font, change the image, stuff like that. So
do you ever do you use that? So there's that test thumbnail feature that's inside of YouTube.
I haven't. Yeah, you can put like an A and B thumbnail, right?
You can do 3. I just used it, and it let me put 3 of them in.
3. Now, does it tell you like how it's performing out the gate so you can pick the best one?
I'll tell you after Tuesday.
Yeah, tell me after Tuesday, because that's one of the things. Like I would do that because I always have like one or two. Well, I usually have 15 different iterations that I whittle it down to 5, send it to my friends, and then whittle that down to 1. But
yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, is there anything what was it that you said? Someone commented and said, I'm not using your affiliate link.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Did they elaborate on that?
Yes, they did. I can't remember the specific comment. So anyone who's done the YouTube channel for a while, you're going to get trolls. And I love my trolls. But listen, if you're a troll of mine, go back into my comments, troll away. I love it. I never delete comments. I always leave them up there. And I could probably find this one. He essentially said, he didn't like he thought I was a joke. He basically said he thought I was like a shill or a joke, or I was only trying to push my affiliate links, and he wasn't going to use my affiliate links. And he mentioned Gluck or something. I don't know I can't remember if he was doing it as a positive or a negative to Gluck, but he was basically saying like, I'm not going to use your links. I'm not going to use Coop links. And he was just going on some tangent. It's just like, it's the same person who like sends you a message on like Facebook and is like, I'm going to unfriend you. You know what I mean? It's just like, just unfriend me. You don't have to save yourself a step. So
I declare bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's just what it is. I mean, people, listen, if you don't want to use my affiliate link, you're not really going to hurt my feelings. But, for those of you who do use my affiliate link, let me know so that I can send you a small token of my appreciation. I try. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I really want to reach out to my subscribers. And I know when they click on my affiliate link that not only does it take like an extra step, an annoying step at that, but there's probably like dozens of the same link floating around in their sphere of what is pushed to them. So they're choosing mine over others. And half the time, the fact that they remember is just amazing because it's very easy to forget. So I want to send them something. I don't want to have like, hey, subscribe to my membership, subscribe to my Patreon, buy my t-shirt, buy this. But I want to be like, listen, you did me right. I'm going to send you something small, obviously, because it can fit in the mail, but it's going to be like a small token of my appreciation, something that says thank you, a handwritten note, a postcard, a picture, or stickers, sometimes magnets if I have them, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool. I had something else in my head and I just completely forgot it. It's great. I just lost it again. So if YouTube disappeared tomorrow, what would you be doing?
I would just be doing my day job. I'd probably still be making videos for my friends and family. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be weird. It would be weird because in my head, I'd still want to be making videos. So I'd probably still be making videos for my friends and family, or I might make a lot of like TikTok short content, just off the cuff, just super easy, no editing. But I would stop. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a good question of like, what would I do if, and not even if YouTube stopped to exist, what happens if your channel got crushed, like got banned, right? Whatever. And I've had friends that's happened to because some people had it against them, so that they like wrote a whole bunch of stuff, and it took the guy specifically, I'm thinking of Garage Gym Homie. He does supplement reviews. Super nice guy, super transparent. Doesn't have anything controversial on his website or YouTube channel. And they took him down like that, like overnight. No flags, no warnings. And he had to like, it took him like a week to finally get his channel back and basically explain that it was just like one person was trying to do him in, but it was, they had multiple accounts and all that stuff. So it's very real that if you have a YouTube channel, you could be taken offline for absolutely nothing. And I do mean nothing. Steve Will Do It got deleted. His like multi-million subscriber YouTube channel was taken off with no flags, no warnings. So
Yeah. I've talked to other creators before as well. I'm just kind of curious on your take on this. They feel very, I'm going to say the word entitled, but I don't mean it in like that weenie sense that we use the word entitled for these days. So they feel like their channel being monetized is entitling them to be paid, even if they violate community guidelines, whatever. Just kind of curious, what is like your take on kind of that attitude of no, I made the content, you owe me.
it's a double-edged sword. So originally on YouTube, if you were not monetized, you did not have any ads played on your videos. So back in the day, if either you weren't monetized or you decided not to be monetized, no ads would play. So if you were watching my videos, you never got an ad. They've changed that. Even if you're not monetized, they still run ads on your videos. So I can understand people saying like, well, I'm putting out the content, you're making money off the content, you should give me a cut. But in my opinion, though, it's YouTube's playbox. It's their playground. If they want to be the Yankees and say no one can have a beard, they can be the Yankees and say that. And we've got to follow the rules. And if they want to roll up shop or they want to decide that, people that check in on their YouTube videos are no longer allowed, you either got to play by their rules or find another place to play. There's other avenues. There's like Rumble is another like YouTube wannabe that's kind of taking off a little bit, but it doesn't have the pull. So, you can make your own stuff. I know a lot of big content creators have made their own side apps and channels on web pages and stuff for people to subscribe so that they can release content that isn't YouTube friendly, or just have like a fallback in case, like you said, YouTube decides, we can't cover anything that involves like pew, 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 right? Like they can't cover anything like that. I mean, I'll see content where people have to like bleep out a typed word of like GUNS, or
Yep.
like they're bleeping out like just regular words in like that aren't taken out of context. It's just the craziest stuff, but they don't want to get flagged. They don't want to get demonetized. So I just gotta, play by the rules because it's their rules.
Have you ever thought about? So I've actually had this thought before, and it has nothing to do with. I'm not really worried about being deplatformed or anything like that. If it went away, I wouldn't care. I would actually probably just get a whole bunch of my life back. But I have thought about going to Rumble and some of these other ones and actually just posting content, because it's for gym content, or at least the kind of content that we produce specifically to review some supplement stuff. It's not saturated like at all. Like there's
Well, I'll
almost
tell
no
you, Kurt, I
competition.
beat you to the punch. I'm sorry. It's saturated. I'm already on Rumble, pal. I'm
All
already
right.
there. But unfortunately, the Rumble's really just basically Rumble is like what YouTube was the first like few years. There's almost no one on there. A lot of the content is like the wild, wild west. And I got like a couple hundred videos on there, and I don't think I've gotten paid one penny. But my channel's like still like, I think I've only got like 100 subscribers, right? Out of like,
Yeah.
with all those. So it's a good place to go to try. I mean, there's other stuff on top of just, I think there's like Vimeo. I can't think. There's a couple others that you can host content.
Yeah.
But for like a daily or a weekly review channel, Rumble's probably like the second best to YouTube, and it's a far cry. So
What do you prefer making, short format or long format?
a long format. If I got the same views or the same clicks, I would make short form all the time, because it's a lot more fun to make short form, because you might take a couple of hours, but you're only making like a 30-second video, whereas my like 14-minute video was going to take me like orders of magnitude more than that. But on YouTube, shorts don't pay. The only benefit with YouTube shorts is that you can refer them to your longer form content.
That's what I found.
People don't realize, like, if I got like 1 million views on one short, that's not even like $1,000. It's like, I don't even want to, I think it's like $100. Like, I mean, so you see these channels that have shorts that have like millions and millions of views, but they're not like floating in money. It's just not there.
Yeah, I remember I've done this before too. I think I made like $2 pulling a deadlift. That's how I justify it. Like, oh yeah. The big thing though, like you said, is with shorts. It seems like new viewers come via
Yeah.
shorts. Like
Yeah, new
your
viewers come
subscriber
via
count.
shorts. It's. I mean, if you've got like a lot of times, I'll take existing content, so I'll make a video, finish it up long form, and I'll be like, what of this would make a fun short? Okay, and sometimes I'll film stuff vertical. Sometimes I'll take the horizontal and just convert it to vertical, and skinny it down to like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and put that out to see if that gets people to kind of want to watch the longer form video. But most of the time it doesn't. It's the stupid stuff I put out that gets more views in terms of the shorts than
Am I
actual.
allowed to pull? Am I allowed to show my analytics? I heard somebody told me once that you're not allowed to show your analytics.
I think you can if you want to show people what you're making. I think they'd be interested. Oh, everyone's sitting up
Okay.
now. They want to see what Kurt's pulling in.
Yeah, we're gonna. So this is the infamous Kurt almost dying video. 15,000 views, which is a lot for me. $1.21.
Yes.
Totally worth it. So I think I'm just in shorts sorted here. But yeah, it's interesting because it kind of goes all over the place. But like we talked about, we're kind of getting off topic now. But yeah, so like I do a log press and I made $1.
Yeah. Now, when you put these out, do you refer them back to some of your old content?
So I'm going to be honest, I actually don't know what you mean by that.
So when you upload a short, there's like a little drop down. So go into one of your shorts and go to edit.
I will show everybody though. This is the whopping amount of money that you too can make.
How many hours is that just? So how much per hour are you making? What, like $5 an hour?
Yeah, you too can make. That's why when I say this, I'm serious. In my tens of dollars. Where do you want me to go?
Go to your shorts, go to content, go to shorts. Just click on one of the shorts. So like you were going to edit it.
Oh,
Yeah,
like I was gonna.
Right. Oh, stop right there. See on the right side, I'm pointing at my computer like you can see. It says related videos.
Oh snap! I didn't even know that was a thing. I usually upload my short from my phone, and
Yeah, so it wasn't a thing initially, and then people didn't want to post shorts, and YouTube upgraded this.
Bro, I knew having you on would be the greatest thing
So
ever.
yeah, so even if you make a deadlift video and you don't have like a direct video to tie it to, just tag another one of your videos where you deadlift in it. So people who are interested in deadlifting will be able to kind of find you.
So you referring back to your long form then from there.
Yeah, so if I pull it from my long form, I refer it to my long form. If I just made a short, I'll refer it to the next closest video that relates to that short. So I'm always trying to refer them to something. I want them to find the long form because, as we talked about earlier with the affiliate links, no one's clicking affiliate links from short form. There's none to be had. So not only are you not making money on the views, no one's even gonna be routed to, you're going to basically tell the company that, hey, I saw Jonathan's video. That's what made me, purchase this product, or that what's made me decide this one versus another one.
So what are some of the things that kind of keep you grounded? So YouTube content creation so don't get me wrong, it is fun. I enjoy doing it. But you know what? Sometimes I get to the point where I'm like, I've actually seriously considered quitting several times just because of how much work it is. What keeps you in the game? What keeps you grounded?
Honestly, I lie to myself every day. I lie to myself that the next video is going to be the one that sends me to the moon. The next video is going to be the it factor that's going to catch fire, and I'm going to find my niche. I'm going to figure out, oh, what's the one thing I was missing in my videos? And boop, I'm going to just be the next Glock. I'm going to be the next Coop. I'm going to be the next Basement Brandon. Fill in the thing. I just lie to myself that I'm just one video away. And the reality is, like, I got a video coming out about how I revived my YouTube channel. I got to edit it. But spoiler alert, I was like really down in the dumps in September because my numbers were horrible. So I try to figure out a way to like make them better and basically do more consistent with content and algorithm and stuff. Long story short, I will cut to the chase. One of my random videos about CrossFit took off, and it didn't even take off initially. It took off like a week after I posted it. So initially I was like, oh, it's a 5 out of 10. No big deal. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. And then it got 70,000 views, like out of nowhere, which for me is like, I don't know, 50x what I normally do. So it's just one of those things that just sometimes you just hit the nail on the head. And you don't even expect to do it. I think my Alpha Brain video, which I threw together, that was like probably the easiest video I ever had to make, was the Alpha Brain video. Has like 100,000 views on it. So it's just, you don't know what's going to take off. But I lie to myself all the time that I'm just one video away, one good session away from taking off, or one good idea away from having the next thing that people are looking to watch.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. It's something, I imagine it's something you probably feel similar to me. Like you enjoy doing it, but it's still work.
Yes, I do enjoy doing it a lot. I enjoy filming. I enjoy the creative process. The editing is the tough part, because it's like you want it to just be done. But that's really where like you've got to really take your time to do it right, so that it doesn't seem boring. It doesn't seem dragged on. I try to use different camera angles. I try to use different like locations, just to try to give the viewer just a different, just okay. They don't have that glazed over look, but it's tough. Like I'll tell you, like I enjoy releasing videos, and when you get a 1 out of 10, oh, you're feeling great. You're feeling great. When you get that 10 out of 10, oh man,
It
you
feels
just
bad.
don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
Especially if it was something that like you really did put your heart and soul into.
The ones
I
I
think
work
that
on the longest get the worst views. I don't know, it's just what it is.
it's for me, it's a lot of times just because I like weird niche things. Like my video this week, as long as I can fix a skin tone issue inside the video, is flywheel stuff. And I love it, but it's niche. It's like super niche, man. So it's good that
Yeah.
you're. It'll probably be the longest video I spent hundreds of hours making and get like a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Well, it's like
But
not to pick on Glock, but remember when he cut those plates in half, right?
yeah,
Yeah, so I was talking to him before. He had like sent me like, little photos of like all these cut plates and stuff ahead of time. And he's like, I'm working on my biggest video, blah, blah, blah. When I was like, I knew it was going to be a big video, but it didn't take off well at the beginning. And I saw his thumbnail, and I told him, and I'm sure other people told him, or he figured it out himself. I'm like, the thumbnail just isn't as good as the video is. Like I was like, the thumbnail's okay, but the video is so much better than the thumbnail. You got to change the thumbnail. And he ended up changing the thumbnail, I think like a couple weeks after the fact. And then that thing took off to like over 100,000.
nice. Yeah. Well, so for that one, I have 3 different thumbnails planned, hoping to compete. I'm hoping that works. But yeah. So that's basically everything I wanted to talk about. So John, before I close it out, you get the last word.
Hey man, listen, if you have not yet, Kurt needs your help. Hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, drop a comment, and of course, use his affiliate links. And at the end of the day, it's important that you support the people that you watch. There's people I watch outside of the home gym community that when they sell a sticker for $5, I buy it because I consume their content and I want them to keep making the content. And I know we talked a lot about YouTube, and it is tough with everyone pushing their affiliate links and stuff like that. But if support the people that you watch, that you feel are honest, that are bringing you enjoyment, and that aren't just trying to like huck the latest and greatest release.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jonathan, thank you so much for being on the channel. You don't make the kind of videos that I want to make, but I appreciate the videos that you make. I'm not trying to knock you there. You just have a style that's all your own, and you do a good job being that style. And I don't want to replicate. That's Patrick at Bridge Builds. He's always saying, always innovate, never duplicate. That's how I feel about you. You got a good channel, you got a good life, and I appreciate everything you do. Go subscribe to NoFate247, but let's be realistic here with almost just over 30,000, right?
92, but I mean, who counts?
Who's
Who counts
counting?
that?
Do you
Yeah,
got one of those things on your desk that tells you?
I don't, but
Oh, okay.
only because my number is so low. But I check my phone constantly, and it's yeah, it's
I'll
a
probably
constant.
maybe I'll make you one. We'll see. I'm a pretty big nerd. That seems like a pretty easy API to get. But yeah, appreciate you coming on. To everybody that watched this far in the video, appreciate you guys checking out this podcast, this interview, whatever show, whatever I'm going to eventually call this thing. The whole idea is to give you guys just a little bit extra on either topics or people. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.